Somewhere between battles he found paper and wrote toward whoever was waiting. A Bersagliere, North Africa, 1941. The desert offering nothing but heat, sand, and this one quiet moment to close the distance between the war and home. Some letters made it. Some did not. That's about a chimpanzee named Jackie, not a human, and it's a story of captivity, not history to romanticize. I'd need an actual historical photo caption to write a script. Send me one and I'll get started. They wore different uniforms now, the same classrooms, the same friendships, the same country split clean down the middle. Custer and Washington at Fair Oaks, 1862, captor and captured, sitting together like the war hadn't decided yet what it would make of either of them. He pressed his uniform and she wore her best dress, and for one evening Bakersfield, California held the whole war at the door. 1942, a corporal, a girl, a dinner that neither of them mentioned the future during, because some nights you simply don't. The tracks go somewhere he can't follow yet, or maybe somewhere he's already learned not to expect much from. Dowlays, 1972, a Welsh town hollowed by deindustrialization, and a child standing at the railway's edge with the particular stillness of someone who has absorbed the sadness around him. He built a raft from balsa wood and ancient logic, then pointed it at 4,300 miles of open Pacific. Thor Heidel, 1947, not proving prehistory happened this way, but proving it could have. Sometimes the most important answer is simply, it was possible all along. He ran intelligence for the most ruthless Japanese force in China, Unit 731's Shadow, Manchuria secrets, buried in files that still aren't fully open. Major General Akikusa outlasted the war only to disappear into a Soviet prison, where empires dispose of the things they know too much. She shared the screen with Michael Caine at his most magnetic and still managed to be the one you couldn't stop watching. Shirley and Field, 1966, Alfie thought he was the whole story. The women in that film quietly, devastatingly knew otherwise. He stood taller than everyone in that courtroom, 8 feet 11 inches, the tallest human in recorded history, fighting a lawsuit at 21. Robert Wadlow, 1939, navigating a world built for smaller people in every sense, with a dignity the room couldn't have matched regardless. The desert took everything: water, shade, the certainty that any of this made sense. A soldier of the Pavia Division, North Africa, 1941, fighting a war his country had joined with confidence and was slowly, expensively discovering it couldn't afford in sand, heat, or men. Whatever they were celebrating, the woman on the left decided a raised fist was the only appropriate response. Circa 1900, 3 women with drinks and somewhere to be, radiating the specific energy of people who have absolutely no intention of behaving themselves tonight. Someone in 1925 looked at distraction and decided the solution was a full helmet and personal oxygen supply. The isolator promised writers total focus, sealed, silent, slightly terrifying. A century later, we settled for noise-cancelling headphones and pretend that somehow less desperate. He pressed the shutter and won the Pulitzer and never recovered from either. Kevin Carter photographed a starving child and a waiting vulture in Sudan, 1993, an image that forced the world to look. He couldn't stop looking either. That distinction cost him everything. 3 faiths, 1 frame, 1 empire still holding them together, for now. Konya, 1873, decades before the Ottoman world fractured along every line these 3 men represented. They stood close enough to touch. History would not always be this generous with the distance between them. It wore its name like a quiet joke, America, a manor house in the Polish countryside dreaming of somewhere grander. Between the wars it stood here, unhurried, unaware that the decades ahead would strip this land of names, borders, and everything that once felt permanent. The bookshops were already there before the bombs, shelves of everything a city thinks about itself lining a street that survived every version of London. Charing Cross Road, 1937, 2 years before the blackouts, still lit and browsable and magnificently unaware of what was coming. They named themselves after the man who unified Italy, and fought to stop the ideology trying to erase everything he stood for. Garibaldi Division partisans, Pleovilja 1944, holding Montenegro's streets with borrowed weapons and the specific conviction of people who had chosen their side carefully. She's holding the drink and they're holding each other, and Maine, 1900 is holding absolutely none of them back. 3 women arranged themselves exactly as they pleased for a glass negative that kept their ease, their laughter, and their complete indifference to being proper, perfectly intact. 800 years of the same bloodline answering the same door. Somewhere in Germany, a castle that outlived the Holy Roman Empire, Napoleon, 2 world wars, and 33 generations of one family who simply refused to consider leaving. Some inheritances are measured in stone, not silver. She was built for reconnaissance and converted for killing in a war Japan was already losing from the sky down. The Sayun night fighter, Atsujai, June 1945, 2 months from surrender, waiting on an airfield for American bombers that no longer needed to fear what intercepted them. He spent 13 summers certain the Bears understood something the rest of us didn't. Timothy Treadwell brought Amy Huguenard into that certainty, into Alaska, into 2003, where the wilderness he claimed to protect finally, quietly, offered its own answer to everything he believed. She danced before written history had words for what she was doing: Bronze Age, Nordic Sun, a girl mid-ritual in a world that measured time by light. We have her artifacts, her amber, her buried offerings. Everything except her name, which the bronze forgot to keep. Derek Ridgers pointed his camera at girls the decade was trying to ignore, too loud, too spiked, too certain of themselves. The 1980s had a very specific idea of how young women should look. These photographs are what that idea looked like when it lost the argument. He signed democracy away with the calm of a man who had already decided the people couldn't be trusted with it. Carol II, February 27, 1938. A king who wanted a kingdom without the inconvenience of subjects who disagreed. The pen made it official. History made it temporary.